you're so high, you. When you fall from the sky, you.
Hello. Here's a quick video on, I say quick, let's see how quick. Full moon, 14th of June. Really wanted to just bring up some collective themes for you in connection with this full moon and, you know, halfway through the lunar cycle, working with the sidereal zodiac, and also just a reminder that wherever the planets are celestially right now, so we have the sun in Taurus and the full moon is going to be in Scorpio, that is going to show up differently for everyone. So depending on which house the moon is triggering for you is going to show up as a different area of your life. So everyone's going to have a different experience. Plus you've got all of the aspects, the squares and the trines. These are the like internal communications that happen within the planets, and again, just as they are happening with each other, they're also happening within your unique star codes as well. So full moon in Scorpio, very, very different energy from full moon in Sagittarius, which is what it is within the sidereal zodiac. And really this lunar cycle has been a lot about, or there's been the potential, right? Because there's always a potential. It's not how you interact with the planets is your free will, but there is the potential to unravel themes within material security, home, comforts, stability, and also then the emotional security within sexuality, within an intimacy, within the emotional inner self. And we can see that here with the axis. So the Taurus, you know, the more wealth, finance, comfort, food, home, shelter, the basic needs here of feeling safe. And then at the full moon in Scorpio, well, Scorpio also being, you know, the ruler of the deeper dimensions, with a full moon, it's a time where things actually can reveal themselves. Maybe the dark side or the dark truths can come to light. You're going to experience a full moon very differently to someone else. It can bring up our shadows, you know, Scorpio ruled by Pluto, and working with pyrite is going to be a really powerful stone to work with. It's part of the sulfides mineral class. So that's its alchemy powers, that it brings hidden things to the surface. And also doubly is also connected with Tzidkin, which in the Mayan cosmology, the eagle, which is we're actually in that 13-day Trisena right now. So the full moon's going to be happening within the Tzidkin Trisena. So a really powerful time for awareness, for visions. And yeah, highly recommend that stone to work with in a meditation, or even use it as a dream stone. You know, you can place it in your bed as you sleep and just see what comes to you through your dream world. And saying that through the dream world, well, Neptune here is actually squaring this full moon. So that would usually be a challenging energy to work with, just because when Neptune creates hard aspects with the moon through conjunction, opposition in this instance as a T-square, this can really bring up the more challenging aspects of Neptune, which can show up as illusions, can show up as not really having clarity, things being very almost too fluid, like non-tangible, being able, you know, getting so lost within your psychic world as well. Remember, Scorpio is a very psychic sign. It can become too sort of fanatical. There might be the obsessions in connection with Scorpio, but there is obviously also that psychic element to tap into. Well, it's available, but it just depends whether you can kind of keep your 2 feet on the ground, which is supported here with Saturn. Saturn in its home sign, so obviously very strong still in Capricorn, and also just gone retrograde, is they're going to be trining the sun So actually, this is a supportive aspect to what could be a very deep and almost like a moon that is just so it's covered with illusions, but there's the potential for all of this to come to the surface. And if you focus on staying grounded, the sun in Taurus, staying connected to the physical earth, your physical body, hematite is a really good stone, especially if you've got a lot of Piscean energy, or if you've got very Neptunian energy, if you've got a lot of water energy, or just you are just very easily able to kind of go up, and your work is to stay grounded. Hematite brings you straight into your body. It's got iron, strength, stone of survival, but especially if you're finding that the moon is kind of taking you, to deep emotional states and heights, then working with hematite, holding it, meditating with it will be a good stone for you to work with. So yeah. And then lastly, another little transit I wanted to share here is Mars and Chiron conjunct during this full moon. So really a powerful time, potentially towards collective healing or collective wound healing, whatever wounds we've all been working with, especially with Saturn going retrograde, karmic debts or things that lessons you've learned in the past that almost like they can come back to bite you. They bite you and revisit you and go, right, have you really learned the lesson? And depending on what that is for you, this full moon can actually bring any shadows in connection with that to the surface if it hasn't been doing that already. And there can be a powerful time of action towards your wound healing and action towards moving forward from whatever Saturn is reminding you of. If you've worked through whatever it is that you've needed to mature, to discipline, to sort of get clear on and get real on, it's very much about getting real, the reality, whereas Neptune to the moon is all about that elusive quality. Saturn comes in and, it actually helps us to stay grounded and to stay within the real material world. And so whatever lessons that you've been learning through the Saturn's transit through Capricorn, really within the last couple of years, you're going to have potentially some of those trigger points come back and remind you through, serendipitous moments, interactions, conversations, situations, whatever it is. And you're going to have a chance there to actually put that to rest, put that to bed, and take action towards the healing of whatever you work through with that. And so, yeah, this full moon can be a very, very psychic time to bring shadows to light, on psychic development as well, So yeah, you can see that Neptune does have it's strong when it's in Pisces in the true constellations, but regardless, with it at the hard aspect to the moon, there's a potential to get lost in the reality, what's real, what's not real, what's truth, what's not truth. And ultimately it comes down to letting whatever's been revealing itself slowly come to full light and see the truth for yourself within yourself, because it will be like the experience of something much more deep, much more internal. Scorpio is often very secretive, so it might be a deep emotional revelation that you have, very private one, or it could be that you're kind of seeing things come to light within people or situations around you. But that is my take on it. Hope you enjoyed, and sending you many full moon blessings for the 14th.